So I am a 24-year-old British person that has been living out of the UK for over 3 years now. I've lived in Australia, New Zealand, and travelled Southeast Asia as well. And yeah, I've been living a life abroad for the last 3 years. In today's video, I'm going to go into how it is that I do that and also debunk that myth of needing a lot of money and needing to have an income online or something like that in order to live abroad for an extended period of time. I am an example of someone who doesn't have loads of money and haven't saved crazy amounts, but yet I've still been able to live abroad for 3+ years and also have been able to do so much amazing stuff in that time. So if you're interested in my journey and you're looking at moving abroad yourself, but you're stuck with the problem of not having enough money or struggling with the visa process or whatever, stay tuned to this video because it might just help you out. So let's go into some tips to why or how I'm able to live abroad for such a long period of time and see so many amazing places. A lot of people think that you need crazy money saved up before you go traveling. Now, I first moved to Australia and I first moved there with about £5,000. And this, to be honest, is more than enough, I would say, to move to Australia with. You could go there with even less and still set up very easily. Yeah, I moved there with £5,000 on a working holiday visa. It's one of the easiest ways that you can move to Australia and New Zealand. So many Brits are currently moving there from the UK, and it is so easy to move there and get set up with a job and a house. And it's one of the best things I believe you can do in your early 20s because it is so easy, and what is stopping you from doing it, honestly? So that was the first move I made to Australia, and it was the easiest thing ever. And over the last couple of years, I've obviously been to Australia, spent 2 years there, left Australia, and I've travelled quite a bit since, even been home for a visit and come back living abroad again. The best way to get around this is quite simply to work while you travel. Now, there's no way I would have had the money to do Australia, Southeast Asia, New Zealand, go back to the UK for a visit, come back to New Zealand, if I didn't work in between. There's no way I would have had the money to do that. And it's the easiest way for you guys to be able to stay abroad for multiple years. Maybe you don't want to make a big commitment of getting permanent residency in another country because that can be difficult, and also it is a big decision to make. It's even a decision which I haven't made because it is complicated and it's a long process and you have to be 100% sure. But working while you travel is the easiest way to live abroad for multiple years. Australia and New Zealand are two of the easiest countries that you can do this in. Like I said, on the working holiday visa, you can work for years if you want to in different jobs in different cities and save some very good money. Australia pays a lot higher wages than the UK. I'm on the exact same visa in New Zealand as well, and whilst the wage isn't as good here, I've still been able to work here and save some money as well, which has been decent. So it's a really good option for you guys who, you know, you want to get out of the UK, you know you want to travel and see the world, but you don't think you have the money. Just work while you travel, and that way you don't even have to do as long as I've done. You can do as long as you want. You can work in Australia for a few months, you can then go traveling for a bit, get a job in New Zealand, travel New Zealand. There's other countries that you can do this in. You can get working holiday visas in Canada, Japan, even like South Korea. Like, there's a lot of options when it comes to that, and a lot of people might look at my lifestyle if you, I don't know, watch my social media or, you know, you look at my Instagram, whatever. People who don't know me would assume that I've got loads of money and it's crazy that I'm able to live this life, and I've obviously done really well, but to be honest, it's far from the reality. I've definitely had my money struggles when living abroad, particularly in Australia and stuff, at points there, and it's why you can't believe what you see on social media because, like I said, people who don't know me would assume that I'm doing incredibly well for myself by the life that I'm living, but I'm doing well in that sense. I don't have loads of money though, but the reality is I've just been smart with it, and I've researched where I can work and how long I can travel for in between, and that's the way I've been able to see all of these places over the last couple of years, is just by working in the right areas where money gets low, stopping off in a city and finding a work, that kind of thing. And it's the easiest way to be able to do it. Work for as long as you need to when you're working. For example, we knew that we wanted to do a few months in Southeast Asia and have a decent amount of money left over. So what we did was we got a job in Perth and we worked there for 9 months because we knew that we wanted to save decent money, and we saved decent money in Perth, and that was what allowed us to go and travel Southeast Asia. I have people questioning me like, what do you do for work? It must be really good money. But the reality is I've worked very, very basic jobs. I've done retail, I've done construction, done my farm work. I've done basic jobs, nothing crazy. But like I said, I get questions from people saying, what job do you do? Because it must be very well paying. That's not the reality. The reality is I just work and travel. It's the easiest way for you guys who maybe don't have a lot of money saved up. Maybe you're struggling, but you want to make a move very soon. That's the best way you can do it. You don't have to save for years and years in the UK in order to leave. Save for a little bit, get yourself a few £1,000s, but then once that's done, get yourself off to Australia or somewhere like that where you can continue working, start living that abroad life, and then you can travel from there. And it is the best thing you can do, honestly. It's the way that I've done it. I would highly recommend anyone in their 20s does it, because if you're going to work somewhere and save your money, you might as well go and do it abroad rather than just living in the UK, living that same boring, same life. You can live somewhere, like I lived in Perth, I lived in Sydney, had an amazing time working there. Because you're having an amazing time, it doesn't really feel like work. It feels like you're kind of traveling anyway. And then when you've had enough or you've saved enough money, then go traveling, and it is the best thing. So I hope this video clears it up for you guys who have this image that you need loads of money to go traveling, or I have comments, people saying like, oh, I want to go traveling but I don't have any money, or how am I going to save the money to do so? Honestly, just get your head down for 3 to 6 months, save as much as you can, especially for you guys who in your early 20s, late teens, if you're living at home, you guys have no excuse. Shut up. Because if I can save money living abroad, working in pretty average jobs whilst doing a food shop, while paying rent, then you guys living at home, paying no rent or food, I'm guessing, you can save so much money and you can get your journey started very soon. You've just got to make that jump and start, then you can start living that life abroad. And it is so much easier than you guys think. Australia and New Zealand I would recommend the most, but there's so many places in the world where you can work. You can even work in places in Europe. It's the best way to get your journey started with traveling, because certain places I've been to Sydney, I've been to Queensland, been to Adelaide, been to Perth, been to Auckland in New Zealand. All of these places I've worked, but I've got to travel to them because of that. If I tried to travel all them places without working, I wouldn't have had the money. Because I worked in each place, it's allowed me to travel and also do amazing trips in between. If you do need any help with moving abroad, traveling, the visa process, anything like that, because there definitely is some things which you need to know and you don't want to make any costly mistakes, that's for sure, then feel free to check out my moving abroad guide. I'll leave it on the screen next to me. It takes you through every single step that you might need to know so you don't make any costly mistakes. Also feel free to check out some of my other videos as they may help you move. So I hope that clears it up for you guys. Get yourself abroad and living that amazing life that you're dreaming of. It is so much easier than you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.